Gerrit Cole just committed the biggest robbery since the Big Score from GTA. This man was signed to be the final piece of the puzzle, that ace that the Yankees have been looking for since CC Sabathia. And well, Cole isn't even the best pitcher in the Yankees rotation. That honor goes to Nasty Nestor. Gerrit Cole needs no introduction. He is very well known across the baseball world, but if you're new to the baseball world, I got you covered. He was drafted in the first overall in the 2011 MLB June Amateur Draft by the Pittsburgh Pirates, where he rose the ranks of the minor league baseball and made his MLB debut in 2013. He went on to have a solid tenure with the Pirates, but wasn't the player that he was expected to be until he was traded to Houston, where he found the key to being a phenomenal pitcher. During his time as an Astro, he had two amazing seasons, which would earn him a $324 million contract with his childhood team, the New York Yankees. In a shortened 2020 season, he had a decent year paired with a good start in 2021. We all thought the Yankees had finally found their ace. In June of 2021, MLB announced that they would begin to crack down on the pitchers that use sticky substances. Since then, Gerrit Cole hasn't been the same pitcher that he was in Houston, which is what the Yankees paid for. During his time as a Yankee, he had an underwhelming 2021 season, and although he did have a decent 2020 season, it was shortened, so we have to take that with a grain of salt. That 2021 season that I mentioned earlier came to a very horrific ending as Cole went on to pitch in the wild card game against the Red Sox, in which he absolutely shit the bed. And here we are at the beginning of the 2022 MLB season, where again he completely got hammered by the Red Sox on opening day and was saved by Josh Donaldson with a walk-off hit. And then again yesterday, he was adopted by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as he homered off of him twice. That was last week, but it is expected Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's an all-star of the game. That's expected. But then yesterday again, third start where he has looked like shit. I'm gonna be completely honest. He has looked like shit. Yesterday he only lasted 1 inning and a half. Gave up 1 hit, 2 runs, and 5 walks. That's the most he has allowed in his whole entire career. Second time he's done it. So that's alarming. And honestly, as a Yankees fan, I feel scammed, man. I'm sure Hal Steinbrenner does too. Now, I know what you guys might say that, Gerrit Cole was second in the Cy Young Award last year, and he has been top 5 in the voting the last 4 years. And that is pretty impressive. Let's take a closer look at his tenure as a Yankee. I don't care that he was good with Houston. I don't care that he was solid with Pittsburgh. I am a Yankees fan, so here are the stats on the screen. Look at these numbers. They're pretty good. I think they're solid, but are they worth $324 million? I could debate that they're not, man. Now let's take a look at his numbers in 2021 before the crackdown. Pretty solid. He had a 2.68 ERA. He had a WHIP of 0.93. He had only allowed 34 earned runs, and he only walked 22 people. Again, not pretty good, solid numbers. But then we look at his post-All-Star game stats, which is when there was no more sticky stuff. 4.4 ERA, 12 games. He had 31 earned runs, 9 homers, and 19 walks, and he had a WHIP of 1.28. On these numbers are his home runs and whatnot and earned runs are pretty similar, but his ERA and his WHIP are significantly worse. His spin rate also decreased a lot. So, I know Gerrit Cole wasn't the only one affected by these changes, but if you're a $324 million pitcher, you shouldn't be affected this drastically by the changes. But the Yankees last year were pretty shit anyways. I mean, let's be honest, guys. That team was not as good as it's supposed to be. They were pretty underwhelming last year. So, we make it into the wild card round, and, anything but a loss against Boston is unacceptable. We put our $324 $1 million ace on the man, only for him to lay an egg in the biggest game as a Yankee. I'm not going to say his career because he put in the World Series with Houston, but as a Yankee, that was his biggest game. That is what you paid Gerrit Cole. And guys, he put on a pathetic performance. I mean, look, your ace goes out there, it can only give you 2 innings and give up 3 runs. Like, come on, guys. This is completely unacceptable. But like I said, it was a bad season anyways. We weren't going to make it out of the ALDS if we made it through the Boston Red Sox. Again, not acceptable, but me as a Yankees fan, I can cope with that. We were shit that year anyway. Okay, but this year started again, and he still looks like shit. He is really missing that spider tackle, or something else is going on. Well, guys, if you guys do remember, last year he had a hamstring injury. I don't remember how severe it was or whatnot, but that got me thinking, could the hamstring issues still linger today? You know, he looks fine. I think he looks fine. Well, you know, to the naked eye, he's fine. But we truly never know what's going on with him, you know? Obviously, the Yankees haven't reported anything, but the Yankees are like that. They like to keep things under wrap. So if he is injured, they're probably not going to tell us. And if he has some light issues with his hamstring, he's not going to want to sit out either, because these guys are professionals. These guys want to compete at the highest level, no matter how or what their physical state is in. You know, and if that is the case, just sit out a couple of games, sit out a couple of months. It's the beginning of the season. As of right now, from all the information we know, my man basically cheated and secured the bag and is now shit. We're stuck with him for the next 6 to 7 years. We're stuck with a false ace. But okay, all jokes aside, Gerrit Cole's contract could really hinder the Yankees, man. I mean, we all know they have deep pockets, but we know Steinbrenner is cheap. The Yankees are in poverty mode right now. They don't want to sign Aaron Judge. They didn't want to sign a top free agent this offseason. They didn't want to sign a top free agent last season. And yeah, we're just in poverty Yankees era. So yeah, so instead of getting someone like a Scherzer or a Soto, or even re-signing our captain Aaron Judge, we're stuck paying this cheater. I know that this might come across as a bit of an overreaction, but team as a whole, the Yankees haven't been all that great. I mean, they're only, one game above 500. Lost a series to the Orioles. Draw the series against the Blue Jays. Won a series against the Red Sox. I mean, those first two series were pretty tough, I'm not going to lie. Two pretty good teams. But the Orioles, come on, guys. You got to do a lot better than that. I know the problem isn't solely Gerrit Cole, but Gerrit Cole is getting paid the big bucks, so he has to show up when we need him to. But come on, you guys have to prove. This guy has to prove that he's worth that much. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, take care.